Right, welcome to Watkins Glen's walkthrough. As usual, we'll go to the first lap from the inside of the car, and we'll do a lap after that from the outside. And when we'll go to the walkthrough, when I mention braking reference or anything like that, just keep in mind it could vary from car to car, from brake performance, and also from your field of view that you're using. I'm playing in VR. If you're playing on the screen, if you are playing different camera, all those things could change where the brake reference could be braking. So you'll need to play with it. And also this week the track will be really hot, so you'll get to the end of the straight with a slower speed. So you might be able to push the braking point a bit. So that's just to you to try it, because when I did this lap is done on the hot lap mode with 20 degree, and I try on the house of practice. Uh, there are some corner that I need to go a gear lower because it was beginning of the like third, but because it was so hot, I need to get to the second, something like that. So just keep that in mind when you're gonna do your lap, that you could those breaking point and that could change a bit. So let's take a look at the first lap from the inside. So this lap was a 43.5, and we'll go from the outside. Eric, I think I have feedback from your mic.
It should be turned off, but just to give me 1 second. Sorry about that.
Okay, let's go from the outside. we'll go turn by turn, and if you have any question during the walkthrough, don't hesitate, just ask during, you don't need to wait till the end. So coming to turn 1, my reference here, you have the 200-meter board on your left, and you also have the first black board on the bottom. So if I'm in the inside with the Porsche, it's when I get to the 200, like to the corner of my window. So we could go slowly to see. So just a double will be before or when you get to the around that, when you get to the 200-meter board. See, just disappear, and that's where I'm starting a little bit after, but like I said, different car, the windows could be different, so it should be around the 200. It should be good to go to do the turn. So you brake in a straight line as much as possible. For this corner, so when you get here, you want to bring the car to the inside, and you want to put your right wheels on the first part of the curb, the one that is same level as the asphalt. So you want to be on this one. This one's smooth, so it will just grip the car. If put there, it will grip the car, and you'll be able to carry a lot of speed on this one. And don't go on the second part of the curve, it's just too high, and you'll just have a chance to have a bad exit here. And if you get a bad exit to turn 1, you will suffer until you get to the bus stop, because it's flat all the way through. I think it's turn 4. Bus stop will be like 5. So yeah, focus on the exit here. Get on. There's a lot of camber on the track, you could see. So use that as your advantage. Put your wheel down here, so you'll have all the grip. And then you just use the exit. You could go on this curve, it's pretty flat. It's not much, you could use all of it. The track limit here is the end of the curve. So if your right wheel go past the red and yellow curve, this will be a track limit. So be careful. Not go too wide, but you could go on it. It's pretty safe. This one is safe to use. Okay, working. You close a bit, and then you're back on throttle. When you get to the apex, like middle of the car, almost the middle, so you have more rubber on one part of it. So your apex is like around here. So when you get to this point, that's where you should be able to get back on throttle and stay flat until you get to the bus stop. If you're not getting to the throttle here, and you're only getting like back full throttle somewhere around here, you're probably gonna lose like half second to a second when you get to the end of the straight. It's really important to focus on your exit. So even if you need to brake earlier, then you're not comfortable to push that much, brake a bit earlier than the 200, and then when you have reduced your speed enough, just let the car coast. Just coast and make sure you get on throttle back when you get around this part here of the track, and then you'll lose a lot less time than if you only get on throttle like when it's the curve end, like on the left side. Back on throttle. This next part, when you go up the hill here, just it's not too hard to do it flat. All the car could do it flat, it's fine. Just make sure to have your line ready, correct, because if you go on the hill and if you turn too much the steering wheel, you're just gonna scrape up your speed and you're gonna still lose time. So try to get the line as straight as possible and have as less possible movement of the steering. So we'll go from the inside from this part. And just take a look at the line from the inside. We'll go back after from the outside, but take a look at the steering. So I'm trying to have as minimal steering input as possible. I'm going to bring the car back close to the curve. I don't want to go on those curves. I just want to be close. Go back straight, just tiny bit on the left, back. And then I just let go of the car. So you want to have as less possible. So you're going to scrub the wheel less. So you should be able to carry more. It will make a difference at the end of the straight, how much speed you get. So if you take a look at your time, if you go in the first corner and then you turn like almost 90 degrees, you're gonna kill all your speed going up there. So just make sure you have the line correct. Try to as less steering input as possible. You want to go close here, you want to keep it close. So compromise like the first one, and cut it back. And then on the exit, just let the car go. Could be tricky sometimes, but it's doable in all cars to do it flat there. So coming to the bus stop. Here we have a couple gold marker. We have the 300-meter board. We have this Marshall stand. Right now I'm thinking with the Porsche I'm using the Marshall stand, but you should be between the Marshall and the 300-meter boards to prepare for the bus stop. So here we recommend a really high speed, so brake at the straight line as much as possible. And then the first curve on the right, you want to cut as much as you can on it. This is the one you want to cut. So you want to cut this one first, a lot, a bit of this one. You want to cut back on this one, and this one you don't want to go too much on it because you have the grass over there. You don't want to put your wheels after the curb, so this one is the one that you're gonna cut the less. So there are two ways that you could try to do. We'll go on it slowly from the inside. So what I'm doing right now, I'm gonna quick tap on the brake, don't shift one gear. I will go on the first curve, and then I will do a tiny tap of the brake and don't shift another time. I think that's the fastest way to do the chicane, but it could also be a little bit more tricky since you have to brake like between the first one you enter on the right and a tiny tap on the left. So it could be a more tricky and could be more dangerous. So you could also do to be safer. What I will probably do in the rail, I will just downshift my two gear before going to the bus stop, and then I will just let it coast and then get back on throttle after the first one. But we'll take a look on this outlap. Let's go slowly. So getting to the 300, braking hard, pointing the car from, and then I release, and then I do a tiny tap, then I downshift for the second, and then I will be back full throttle for the rest. So that's probably the fastest way to do it, but you could also get here, get to your braking point, same braking point, don't shift the two gear, don't shift, so you'll be like the gear that you need to be. And then from here you just do the lift that I do here, don't need to brake, you just do that lift, and then you just get back on full throttle. The end of the corner is the same thing. Let's try back from the outside. So I'm gonna brake and try to point the car in the entry of the first corner. braking, turning the car a bit. So this is one place that you could gain a lot of time or lose a lot of time on the bus chicane. I was comparing my lap with the, I think it was one for the Go setup. I have the Motec for it, and he did a 42.1, and I was losing half a second just in the bus stop at the beginning. So you could carry a lot of speed there, but it's also could be a lot deadly. This one place that will guarantee pretty much sure someone will probably miss this one and end up in the wall somewhere, and I'm one of them. The port is pretty deadly over there. It's really scary, so just take it slower a bit, be safer, and you should be able to finish the race properly. So next corner, the fast right-hander that we have there. I think in this one for the Porsche, I will stay in the 4. I will just play with throttle to turn the car, so I will just release it to get, like we talked in Paul Ricard after the straight, I was doing like playing on the brake a bit and throttle. The same idea here. It's a really fast corner, so we'll just, other car might go in the third. That's always depend on the car, and you might touch just a tiny tap of the brake. In the Porsche, I am able to keep it in the fourth gear and just release a bit, and then it gives the turn to the car, the grip in the front, and then it could just get bad flat. So you want to go after the bus stop, you're gonna go a bit left. You don't need to go all the way to the left. I will only go maybe around half the track because the turn is coming so fast. So I'm just releasing a bit. You see the throttle, just playing with it. I want to get close to the curb. On this hot lap, I will be a little bit too much on the left. Like I would like to be a little bit more closer to the curb, the part that's coming. You'll see, like here, when I have this Marshall stand on the right, I want to cut back to get close to the curb and be full throttle and use the exit. But on this lap, I'm a little bit too much on the left. I will say, like here, I should be almost on the curb to be back full throttle, but I'm still full throttle by too much. I should see the lines more. You should be like here and getting back to the exit. I'm like almost a car width too wide here. So just try to follow the darker line that we have from the game. You see I'm a little bit too left, so not too much here since we have a lot of space on the exit that we could use, but always better to be there. So on the exit you could use this curve a lot, and I think the track limit is the same as the, never have a track limit here. It's probably the end of the painting that you have the red and yellow, so if you will go there you'll probably get a track warning, but the gate is so close there that you don't really want to be that much on the right. You could have your car fully on the curb, that will be fine, and I don't think I'd go more than that. You could be a bit more, but there's almost no place after the curb to be like four-wheel there. The wall is too close. Just don't need to. You still have plenty of space here. It's not hard to be just there. So
Hey, Michael.
Yep.
When you're lifting there, do you have a reference point? Like, are you using the
For
signs
reference?
on the right, or?
Honestly, no. Just doing it now. But we could check what I'm using right now. Could be around here, I will guess. So you have the end of the grass. This will be pretty easy to see when you get here. Other than that, yeah, I think I'm probably using this will be a good point to do a lift, starting a bit of the lift.
Where the grass ends?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you should be more right here. See, I drift a little bit too much, but it's not the end of the world in this corner since we have so much space on the exit here. Should be able to carry a lot of speed. So for this one, I was using the same thing when I see this in the car, like when it starts to appear, that's where I want to start braking. You see there, you could almost not seeing it right now. We'll just go slowly and find it. See, now I'm seeing it more. That's how when I start pretty much seeing the square, that's how I know where to brake on this corner. Should be fairly similar for the car. This is another fast corner. Pretty much Watkins Glen is pretty much all fast corners, so with a lot of camber. Again, there's a bunch of camber here that you could probably carry more speed than you think, just because of the camber here. It helps a lot, and you'll get on throttle early, and you could use this curve. You could still use it. It's fine to use. You're gonna exit around here, and will be fine to use. So let's watch it slowly. Braking hard, turning the car into the corner, and I'm gonna release. And this is the just coasting for pretty much of the car, just playing with the throttle up here, but it's mostly in here. So let's go back just a bit. So you want to be a little bit. It's a little bit of a late apex for this corner, not as much as we got from Paul Ricard. Now it's gonna. So you want to get a little bit left, and then cut back to get a good exit for this corner too. Just go slowly. This should be coasting, and then getting bound throttle around here when you get. So when you're in the inside, almost when you face the ambulance. So now it's pretty much straight in front of me, so somewhere around here, you should be back on throttle and be full throttle soon, like here. And this curve, you could use it more than this. If you need to use it more, it's fine. There's nothing there that could probably bump you, so you could exit and it will be fine.
Just a quick question about the curbing, Mikhail. Because this one's going to be a hot race, does running over excessive curbing heat up or damage the tires in a hot race?
I don't know about that. I don't know if it will damage the tire more, but they're probably going to cook anyway, so you could probably use it. It's so hot on this race, so I'm not sure if it will be a major issue or not, but personally I will use it.
You're going to use it, and
yeah.
So I haven't noticed if they heat up the tires more or less. Like,
yeah, I never checked that, but I'm gonna get right now. My tire are so hot that it's not gonna matter. But also keep in mind that your stin, if you test it, your stin will probably have the race. Since so hot, you don't want to push it much than that. So 32 minute, 33 minute for a stin. So next braking point for me, I'm braking between the 200 and the 100 meter board that you have on both sides of the track. So almost halfway. Yeah, almost halfway. So if I'm on the inside, I see the 100. So I have the 100 meter, the 200 meter to remember me to. Okay, now you're gonna brake soon, and you pass it halfway, then braking. So again, this corner you have a lot of camber and you're going uphill, so that's why we could brake so late here, because we have the camber to help us carry more speed through the corner, but we also going uphill that will decelerate the car, so we're just using gravity to decelerate faster, so that's why you could carry a fair bit of speed on this one and brake so late, like 150 meter. So you want to be, for this corner too, it's like the previous one, you're gonna start a bit on the left side, then you will let it go, and then you cut back from the inside here to get your apex, and then you full throttle on the exit until the next corner. Let's go slowly from the outside. So braking, and then I just coast. And for this car, I'm shifting back in the third. You'll see, like short shift in third. I did some testing. I did some other driver. You could just stay in the third here for the Porsche, but you could test in your car if you need to. Don't shift to the second, or if you could do the exit on the third. You might have less wheel spin on the third, so it's just on you to try it, which gear will work. It's like between both could work. I could still stay in second and just rev it up, shift to third. It's still working, so just try it a few times with your car and you'll be able to see what's worked the best for you. And here on the exit we don't have the curb at all, so just be careful. We have a little bit of extra asphalt over here, but it ends quickly, so just be careful to not get your wheel on the grass. So this one, you have the 200 meter board. It's probably good for a lot of car. I'm braking a little bit later at that. I'm braking at the, I think we'll check. It's one of the two, like those patch of grass that are lighter brown. So I'm braking a little bit after the 200 meter board. I think other car too should be able to brake a little bit after the 200 meter board, but that just, like I said, you need to try it with your own car, which one you're driving, so you could change. Let's go from the outside. Let's go slowly. So usual, I'm gonna braking as much as possible on a straight line to maximize the braking. Then starting to turn the car, let go the brake, then coasting. And then once you get, you could use a little bit of curve. You don't need to have the right tire is touching it, but you don't need to. Don't try to go too much on the curb. Don't need to. It's not big, like it's not wide, and it's a little bit higher. You don't need to go there. You're not gonna gain time or anything by cutting on this curve. So try to be a little bit left to get to your apex, get back full throttle. Because you could use on the exit of this corner, you have a lot of space here too, so use you want to use this one, you could use. On this lap, I'm not going a lot on it, but if I want to maximize my time here, I could be on throttle a bit earlier and have my right wheels on the curb. Right now, I'm probably only have my left wheel. Like here, I could go like my right wheel and still be a valid lap. So don't go over the red and yellow. Should be fine for a track limit. So for this one, right now, the best one is the Amazon Web Services board on the right. Right now I'm using this, but it's not a great idea to use it because it's destructible. If an accident happens, it's gone. You need to find something else. There's not much else around it that you could use it. It might be a case of doing it by feel. Just try and take it out, take a lap, take it out, and do it a couple times without it, and you'll get the feel of it.
Michael.
Yep.
Where the line, the white line up here starts to appear at exactly the same spot. That's what I use. It's right beside the sign on the road, a white line.
Is it still there if the track is fast or
Yeah,
good?
it stays there even on Optimum Racing. It's still there.
Okay. So
Yeah, that right there.
good.
Because most people aren't driving right there, but most of the races I'm done where it's optimal, the braking, the dark spot is usually about a wheel length over. You can almost see it there already, starting to show up. So that white line, I find it always to be there. That's the only line I ever use. I never use the sign because it's always gone.
Yeah. This one is a little bit harder to get to it than other track, but there's still a good chance to that could happen. So yeah, the line up pretty good. Where you start to get white, back to white, it's a good one to use. Let's go. So brake. And you want to apex late on this one. You don't want to go like here right now. You want to stay a bit left. And then gonna cut around this part and being back flat, full throttle around here, and use exit around here. Because this one is pretty tricky to do. If you enter too quickly in the corner, there's a good chance you're not gonna be on full throttle like here, and you have to lift and be full throttle around here. That will cost a lot of time, and a lot of time when I was first time I tried to try, like I was always messing up that corner and almost ending in the wall right here. Like a lot of time I have to lift because I was just enter the corner like right at the beginning, and then just push me off left, the right. So just enter later on the corner. Be patient or be on throttle here. So you want just coast, and then around where the fence. So you have the upper part of the fence for the safety. This part around there, like you should be back on throttle somewhere here. Then you could use it a little bit of the curve. Not too much since the wall is so close. Just be careful. There's a lot of accident happen on this corner because those walls are really close, and sometimes when you get to the exit area, if you get your wheel in the grass, so you have both sides of the track, the wall are really close, and just spin, hit the wall, and then you just block the track for everyone, just causing a massive accident. So really careful here and be patient on the going back on throttle. direction and get back. So coming to this corner. So this one, all cars should be able to do it. I think all cars should be able to doing it just by a lift. So you just need to lift a bit and should be good. So you just want to get your weight on the front tire. So we'll go slowly and check where I'm gonna lift, like not at the beginning, already turning when I'm lifting, I think. Make sure, so I'm gonna start to turn and then lift a little bit. Then I have my weight back on the front, I have the grip and back full throttle. We'll take a look for speed after. And this curve you could use it a little bit. I think it's fairly safe to use. So we're gonna take a look at full speed and you'll see it's just a tiny lift when we watch it full speed. And for the last corner, what I'm using for my braking reference, so you have the end of the hose tire, you have this big board that we saw from the back, so that's where I'm going to brake, like somewhere around here. So let's go from the inside. It will just be a touch of the yeah, so it's not a big braking point. You carry a lot of speed on this corner. Again, you still have a lot of camber here, but you'll need to be careful here. If you're racing someone and he want to go in the pit, he will have the right to be here and he will need to be slower because you cannot, in NASRS, we cannot cross the line, so it will carry a lot less speed here to enter the corner. If that happens, you just need to be aware that if the car is here on the entry, that means it will go to the pit. So you will need to change your line and stay out of the yellow line to not hit him, because you will carry a lot less speed than you will be able to carry. So just keep that in mind. You don't want to cause an accident right here. So if you enter the pit, also you need to stay on the right. You will need to brake earlier to make the corner to not get, and practice this pit entry because it's easy to cross the yellow line there. So just be careful. And the racing line, the optimal racing line, you need to cross that line to get close to the curve here. So keep that in mind if someone is in front of you. So let's go from the outside. We'll go slow. So it will be a tap of the brake, release, and then I just coast and back full throttle, and then you exit on the curb close to the wall. So let's check it back full speed, so you'll be able to see. We'll go a little bit more. So we'll do those two corners full speed again, and just take a look at a brake, or for the first one, for this one I will just do the lift, and the other one just a tiny bit of brake, then I coast and back on throttle. And that's the lap. And like I said, for the entry, be careful when you enter. I don't really remember where I'm starting to brake. It's probably something around here, I will guess. And for the exit, you need to be careful. So you'll get your, here you have your, where you could get back on throttle, but be careful this corner. You will not be able to make it flat. So you need to lift a little bit to be able to do this corner and to not exit too wide and cross the yellow line. Be careful on that. do a little lift, and that's it. You have any question, any corner you want to go back? All right, we'll take that as a no.